Audit of wildlife on the North Norfolk Coast has been published today. It's been put together by scientists at the University of East Anglia and is expected to influence how the land is managed and the wildlife protected for years to come. Let's go to Burnham Deepdale on the coast. And Mike Liggins. Looks very pretty, Mike.
Yeah, no, it's lovely here this evening. The sun's gone in, but it's still absolutely beautiful. Might just be able to make out Brancaster Staithe Harbour behind me, and if you're wondering about these beautiful purple flowers, then they're Phacelia, and the reason they're here is that they're very, very good for pollinators. The reason that we're here is that this farm has been a big part of the biodiversity audit. A walk along the seawall at Burnham Deepdale. This is one of the most beautiful and fragile landscapes in our country, and now we know even more about it than ever before. In an 18-month study, scientists at the UEA carried out an audit of the natural world and looked at records of 10,000 species of plants, mammals, birds and invertebrates.
What we did was gather all that information into a huge database so we could come up with a list of what the species actually are, what all of those species are, try and work out what they all need, and then to get all of that information condensed down into a format that we can then put in the hands of the people who really need it, the people who are managing and looking after the habitats, especially the farmers, reserve managers.
The UEA team worked with the North Norfolk Coastal Group, a consortium of farmers, landowners, government agencies and conservationists, to decide how best to use the audit to maintain and improve the biodiversity here. David Lyles is the chairman of the group and himself a farmer.
I come from a generation that probably did quite a lot of damage to nature, but we didn't realise it. We thought we were doing best practice. Now it's a treat to actually put something back into it and see younger farmers and people coming on and looking after it.
Farming is changing, and that's very apparent at Deepdale Farm. It's an organic farm where they are turning away from intensive methods to improve the quality of the soil. Good for biodiversity, yes, but this is also a question of survival.
At the beginning of 2020, we'd been in a situation where we were affected by very heavy winter rainfall, and we'd actually lost tons of soil off the farm. We had very little organic matter in the soil, very poor soil health as a result of over-intensive arable production. We've now changed the way that we're farming so that we're trying to put more back into the soil.
Within the farmland where drainage ditches are used, they often have very steep slopes. If you make the slopes of the sides of the ditches shallower, create that little bit more muddy edge at the bottom, that can support a huge amount more of that biodiversity, more insect and plant species.
Biodiversity audit isn't exactly a phrase to excite most of us, but this is groundbreaking work. It's a first, and the start of what all the parties involved are hoping will be a better, more biodiverse future. One other thing that the UEA team wanted me to mention was the collaboration between all the different parties. They've been absolutely delighted by that, and I know that's a big part of the thinking here at Deepdale Farm as well. It's the sharing of information and the sharing of best practice that they feel here is going to be a big part of the future.
Thank you very much, Mike.